I know what you're looking for when you click on a video about a new sofa set. You want something that just works, that feels solid enough to survive a night of gaming marathons, that lets you plug in a phone without hunting for an outlet, and that gives you a little extra storage so you don't end up with a coffee table full of tangled cords. You've probably been scrolling through endless listings, worrying whether the luxury label is just marketing fluff, or whether a power reclining seat will actually stay in position after a few weeks of use. The good news is there's a way to get past the hype and figure out if a piece of furniture truly fits your lifestyle before you spend a chunk of change. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about the everyday scenario most of us face. You walk into your living room after a long day, you want to sink into something that supports a good posture while you binge watch a series, and you also want the ability to charge a phone or tablet without stretching a cable across the couch. The ELDANISH 3-piece power recliner set promises exactly that. A reclining mechanism that you control with a simple button, USB ports built into the armrests, and cup holders that also double as storage compartments. Those features sound great on paper, but the real test is how they hold up after you've settled in for a weekend of movies or a nightly gaming session. I did a little digging into how people actually use recliners like this in their homes. Most owners of power reclining sofas say the biggest win is the ease of getting into a reclined position without having to lean forward or use a lot of muscle. That means if you have back problems or just don't want to wrestle with a manual lever, the electric motor can be a lifesaver. In practice, it works the way you'd expect. You press the button on the side of the seat, and the back tilts back while the footrest lifts up. The motion is smooth enough that you won't feel a jolt, which is important when you're trying to stay focused on a game or a film. For families, the fact that the system is powered by a simple plug-in makes setup a breeze. No need for a professional electrician or any complicated wiring. Now, about those USB ports. They're positioned right where your hand naturally rests, so plugging in a phone is as easy as grabbing a drink. The ports deliver enough power for a standard 5V charge, which is fine for most smartphones and tablets. In real-world use, I've seen people keep a phone on the right armrest while they're sitting, and the charger stays cool even after a few hours of use. That said, if you're looking for a fast-charge 20-watt port, this isn't it. The power output is more in line with a typical 2-amp charger, which means you won't see your phone go from 10% to full in under an hour. If rapid charging is a priority, you might need a separate wall charger. The cup holders are another practical element that often gets overlooked in product marketing. In the ELDANISH set, each seat has a sturdy cup holder that also doubles as a small drawer. You can slip a remote control, snack bags, or a couple of coasters inside, keeping the surface of the couch free of crumbs and spills. The biggest advantage here is the reduction of clutter on your coffee table, which often becomes a dumping ground for game controllers, loose chargers, and snack wrappers. When the cup holder is used as a mini storage space, you get a little extra organization without needing an additional side table. Let's talk about the material and construction, because that's where the premium claim really matters. The cushions are wrapped in a faux leather that mimics the look of real leather but is easier to clean. That's especially helpful if you have kids or pets. A quick wipe with a damp cloth removes most spills. The stitching is a diamond pattern that runs across the seams, giving a visual cue of higher quality. However, the faux leather does have a slight tendency to feel a bit stiffer when you first sit down, and it may develop a light sheen after prolonged use. It's not a deal-breaker, but if you're particular about the hand feel of your upholstery, you might prefer a fabric sofa. One area where the set falls short is the overall footprint. The 3-piece arrangement is generous. Each recliner measures close to 35 inches wide, and the whole set spreads out over a sizable portion of a medium-sized living room. If you're living in a small apartment or sharing space with a dining table, placing 3 power recliners could feel cramped. The design is meant for a dedicated media room or a spacious family lounge. For someone who only has a modest corner for a sofa, this set would dominate the space and make the room feel unbalanced. Another practical point to consider is the weight. Each recliner weighs around 70 pounds.